For the first time in Canadian history, millennials make up one of the largest portions of the electorate. John Beebe, the Democratic Engagement Advisor to the Dean at Ryerson University, is working to engage more millennial and Generation Z voters to head to the polls on October 21st.
Well, simple thing is power, right? How do young people have power? Well, they may not have a lot of money yet. They may not have lots of social connections, but there are more young voters than any other voting group. So if they come out, the politicians have to pay attention to them and listen to the things that they're important to young people.
According to Beebe, participation in the election by young people went up 17% to 58%, making it the highest it's been in the last 40 years. If this happens again, millennials and Generation Z voters could have a big impact on the outcome of the election. So what concerns young voters the most in 2019?
If more young voters vote, then it would help get issues that we care about, represented in Parliament instead of having, contradictory things happen that are opposed to our interests.
It's important to have a voice in politics. I think it's a very powerful force in society. There are other forces as well, volunteering or business ownership or something, but I think politics shapes society.
I think they're really young people are like incredible leaders in their community. And you look at climate change, you look at things like affordable housing, you look at issues like education. I think what's happened, though, is they're not taking advantage of the power that's available to them through the vote. They're doing other things. They're taking to the streets. We saw that with the climate strike. But more young people need to vote and force politicians to listen to what they have to say.
With so much at stake in the election and young people playing a huge part in the electorate, one question on their minds is how the different political parties plan to encourage millennials to come to the polls and which party aligns best with their views. We're able to talk with some of the candidates about how their parties are reaching out to millennials.
One of the things that we're actually looking to do, in addition to the creation of 500,000 public affordable units for housing, we want to cool off the market.
According to a CBC survey, young Canadians think their survival depends on addressing climate change. Now, the Green Party hopes to attract the youth vote by presenting their plan to fight climate change, which includes doubling down on Canada's reduction target to 60% by 2030. Party candidate Hannah Conover-Arthurs points out that the biggest threat to not only Canada, but to all the nations is global warming.
Yeah, so again, I would say absolutely we're ready, because global warming exacerbates all other problems, and that has been proven time and time again. The biggest security threat that we face is global warming. And so, we can't talk about equality, we can't talk about war, we can't talk about, trade, these different things, unless we address the root problem. The only problem that we should be focusing on right now is addressing climate change.
We were able to get in contact with federal Liberal candidate Gary Gladstone via email to ask him what he is planning to do to lower the cost of living for young people. In short, Mr. Gladstone stated that, quote, a re-elected federal government would fully implement the first-time home buyers incentive. This would provide Canadians with up to 10% off the purchase of their first home. Now, this is just one step the Liberal Party has in place to help millennials. On Federal Conservative Party candidate Zia Chowdhury's website, he says that, quote, I feel that there needs to be a strong representation in the federal government to ensure active federal participation in affordable housing, community safety, and transportation, especially for youth. We went to Ryerson University to learn more about the Ryerson Votes Initiative and how the Democratic Engagement Exchange cooperates with the institution. We spoke to Divine Manuela, a Ryerson University politics and governance student, to find out more about how the university is engaging with their students.
I don't feel like university is doing enough to actually help out with the whole election thing, because most of the students I'm talking to, they're not sure what's going on, and the university really doesn't really bring out those politicians here to school to talk about their parties, about what they believe in. So I hope for the next future that the university will do more about the election actually.
This is the challenge that Beebe and the Democratic Engagement Exchange are dealing with. As a nonpartisan organization, Volunteers are giving up their time to promote on-campus voting and raise awareness about the election and the politics among the students. The purpose behind it is to show that voting in Canada is not hard, and that also the university provides people with the opportunity to vote as early as October 5th.
I voted in Canada for the first time 5 years ago, and I was really surprised at how easy it is to vote here. I think for a lot of first-time voters, that's their experience. They're like, oh, wait a second, it only took me 7 minutes. I only have to mark one ballot. It's super simple. So yes, I understand the frustration of why people may feel like their vote doesn't matter, but if all of us vote together, it will make a big difference, and it is very easy.
Beebe wants a lot of students to come out and vote on October 21st. He says it would be very encouraging to see young people come to the polling stations and to use their power to shape Canada's future.